With the help of Hashem, I want to talk about two things. I want to talk about the machloket between Rashi and the Rosh. I want to talk about the Rosh and Rashi. Okay? The machloket is here in Yesod. So I want to speak about the Shitas HaRosh. What was his kasha? What was his question? What was his answer? So during the week, with the help of Hashem, I gave two options how to read the Rosh kasha. A couple of options how to read the Rosh answer. One is the Taz when we put it up. Then in the Rashi, you have the Rashash. The way he learns, you have a kasha against the Rashash, very strong kasha we spoke about this morning. Those that heard. Then what is the other options? The answers. And explain some beautiful pshat and sugiya. So this is what we'll speak about. So we'll start with the Rosh. The Rosh talks about Yayin Mevushal. Rabbi says Yayin Mevushal does not have a din of Yayin Esek. Rabbi says Yayin Mevushal of a goy is mutar. Was a how? The bishul removes the isur, mafkiat the isur. Cannot be. Must be the yain of a Jew that he cooked and he gave it to a goy. With one choitom, there's no problem of nisur. There's no problem of achufim. This is the most we have.
The Jew cooked the wine and gave it to the goy.
Yes. The wine was Jewish. You cooked the wine and gave it to a goy.
What makes the wine Jewish?
What?
What makes the wine Jewish?
He owned the grapes, he squeezed the grapes, made it wine, he fermented it, he bottled it, then he cooked it.
Well, he owns it, Goy make it, not Jewish wine.
Goy makes it, it's finished.
Even though it's Jewish only.
If what happened, a Jewish owned wine and the Goy works there. That's called Jewish wine and the Goy touched.
I mean, Al-Gabo, that helps.
Okay. So we have,
There is no wine until it's
what?
Isn't that misleading? Jewish wine sounds like wine in your own, but it could be a totally made by
True. But the only thing what we have is the Gemara. What Gemaras we have? We have 3 Gemaras. And from that we want to build the law. Okay? So we're going to start with the 3 Gemaras we have. One is Rabbi Ilo. Rabbi Ilo says, and Daf Chavtes Amud Beis to 29b, Rabbi Ilo says, Yayin Mevushal Shel Goy. If I have wine of a goy that he cooked it, who owns it? A goy.
It says Avodah Zarah, it doesn't say goy.
By me it says goy.
Well, this word says Avodah Zarah.
No, it doesn't say that.
Show
Show
It says over there, yeah, it says over there,
by you says Gochavim?
over there, Kohavi.
That's
It
it.
says Goy.
That's it. Yogi says Gochavim says.
They're all these.
What's the difference?
What's the
Let's
difference? Goy and all this stuff?
No, but they do
What's
Avodah Zarah.
that?
After that, goy doesn't.
Okay, the Rabbi Gochavim by you.
Even the
Okay.
Rabbeinu Chanan says Goy.
Okay, good point, good point.
No, it could be for the census. But you say
Yeah,
over
could be,
Kohavi,
no.
and the going don't feel, they read it, they don't feel so
Right,
bad.
right. Most likely it's the censors. Good. Omar Avilo, Shaninu we learned, Yayin Mevushal Shel Goy, or the Gilses of the Gechovim, are star worshippers. Shoyo Mitchiloso Yayin was to start with Yayin by a Goy also. And the Gemara says Pshita, Mishum Deivshil Pokal Yisur. The wine was a goy. Goy owned wine, and the goy cooked it. It's also the most like the fact that goy cooked the wine, and he destroyed maybe the strength of the wine. The issue of Stam Yain will go away.
Why not?
The was pshit and it won't go away.
Why?
Mishum the issue Pokal Yisur, because she cooked it, the issue should go away.
Why not?
Because at the beginning second it became wine with Yayin Shal.
Let's talk about something else.
That second, that's finished.
The same thing Gemara said, if I had wine and it turned to vinegar. The Gemara says, Mishum di'ichmitz pokala yisura. Choimetz,
That's by
vinegar
itself.
by wine will destroy, although it's not wine anymore,
But that's by
but it
itself.
should not destroy the yisur.
Not the same thing, that's Mamela, this is Dafka by
It
Yadayim.
looks wine the same.
That's not the same thing, one's
Give it
Mamela,
taste.
one's by Yadayim.
Right? One is Mamela and one is Bayadai.
So that Yadayim is much serious, more serious.
It looks the same.
So why the yisur should not break it? Why the prohibition should not go away? Why? Why not?
It's vinegar.
Let's say, I take wine and I don't make it vinegar. It's not become vinegar, and I didn't cook it. But I take wine and I make from the wine conditon, anemolim, alenotitit. You understand my language? Spanish, right? No. Gemara says, yayin alenotit.
You like making that.
Anemolim, I put wine, I put honey, I put pepper, conditon, pepper and honey. So there, if it was wine, right, it was wine. Then I put on it honey and pepper. Will change it? Same thing, will not change it. If the wine belonged to a goy, the fact that now that I put added things, which has a different name now, it's called conditon, it's called malim, it's still also. No, the fact that if he got destroyed, you're right. If he didn't get destroyed, it's still around. Stam Yelim was also bano. So whatever is still there, even Tanya and Shishim, as long as it exists, there's also. Why when you buy whiskey, you're not allowed to buy whiskey unless it's action or some other drinks, because with any taste is in it, flavor, which flavor is still also. Once yayin stamien was also shtir v'anor, you cannot even get rid of it. So mishum de ichmitz, mishum de bisha poka yisur, bala yisur cannot break away.
There's a reason. The reason why it doesn't, it's also because of an
The only way to permit it, what happened if I chabar? You know you over there, right?
Bad
What?
nose. It's nose.
Kuf Dalet, Achbar falls in, maybe you could say Mos, it destroys it. And anything else that doesn't destroy it, another form, as long as the Isur is still there, and you can taste it, it's still also. So why Poka Isur? Let's continue on. So that's one Gemara. So we have a Gemara that says, Yain of a Goy, that he turned it to Choymetz, it was turned to Choymetz, or he turned it to Yain Mevushal, the Isur is not Pokea. Elo Omar Ravashi, or Asalashmina. Ravashi tells us, this is what Rabbi Loi came to teach us. Yain Mevushal Shalom B'yad Goy. If we have our wine belongs to a Jew, that was cooked, Yayin Mevushal, cooked wine that we owned. So what happened to it now? Where's that? I deposited by a goy, Rashi said. Ilkach Yayin Mevushal Shalom Shehufka legoy, I deposited by a goy. It's allowed. Now, why Rashi has to say deposit?
What's allowed? An hour drinking it. Both?
Oh, that's my point. It's Rashi and Rosh. That's what we learned today. But first, we have to get all the Gemaras we have. Before we started the Rosh, we said what Gemaras we have. Now, if we medite the language of Ravashi, what do we have? We have our wine, Yain Shalom, right? So Shalom means we own it. Shalom means past. We owned it once and now we don't own it. Yain Mevushal Shalom, wine which is cooked, which is ours. Seems to me that the status of Mevushal was still owned by a Jew. So when it was wine, it was by a Jew, and when he cooked it, it was told by a Jew. So that's why, what does it mean, Beyad Goyim, in the hands of the Goyim? It can't be Beyad Goyim means that I sold it to the Goyim. It's not Shalom anymore. Shalom. The Shemocha Goyim. Beyad Goyim means I deposit. So you have wine that it was wine, belonged to a Jew, and the Jew cooked it. That's what Rashi says. Also, Rashmino. Time when if the Goy cooked it, it's out. If the Goy cooked it and the Goy owned it, the cooking doesn't destroy it. Or Bishra Yisrael means that it's owned by a Jew, and the Jew cooked it beheter. What does beheter means? That the wine was in the status of heter when the Jew cooked it. How can the wine be in the status of heter when he cooked it? Because the Jew did cook non-Jewish wine. The Jew was not working by a Goy's factory and ownership. No. Bishra Yisrael beheter. The Jew cooked it, that the status of the wine was mutar, because it wasn't owned by a Goy. Wasn't touched by a Goy. The wine wasn't owned by a Goy. So the wine is a heter, and the Jew cooked it.
It was in the house of a good? Can be also?
1 second. Two, Rashi says, two. Who knows the word two? Two, it's a two? No, I'm joking. What is two? Anymore. Two loy mitzvah ma'ano. It's not anymore prohibited with pleasure, with benefit.
Not prohibited.
Not prohibited anymore. What does that mean? What does that mean? It means that you cook, you stop, you cut. There was a cut. When wasn't cooked, and the Jew owns the wine, can be also ma'ano if the guy touches it. Now that the Jew cooked it, it's not anymore also ma'ano. You cannot prohibit it in ma'ano. But what about shtiya? What about the prohibition of drinking? That could be more. I can add. Now she says I cannot add anymore. If the Jew owned the wine and he cooked it, no more isu ma'ano. But isu bishul I can produce. How? Sorry, isu shtiya. I'm mistake my word. Isu shtiya. There is more. That there is more. How? The Jew owned it. The Jew cooked it. How can I add to it isu shtiya?
God touched it.
I don't know. Maybe the Goy touched it, or if I stole it to a Goy. I don't know. But I can add isu shtiya. But two anymore, I cannot anymore. If the wine of a Jew is cooked, no more two lo mitzvah be'ano. I know there's no form and shape and way to add isu ano. But to add to this heter wine isu shtiya, I could. This is the diuk of the Rashash. And therefore it says Kamaz with the Chilevish. That when Menashe going and Rushul going, don't do nisuk to cooked wine. Say anymore, he cannot produce anymore. Suppose heter to now. He cannot add moisif on it anymore. He's no, because they don't Menashe wine. And therefore, if I deposit ilkoch yayin mevushal shalom our cooked wine, shahufka legoy, that was deposited by a goy, you don't need to choisomos. There's no problem with this. This is second Gemara.
But you need more chaysom.
You can go to his house and drink it. No. Not according to the Rosh.
That's what you say. Rashi says, you cannot add any more isu ano, but to add isu shti you could. How? If I go to his house and I drink it with it, or he owns it, he touches it. There's a way to produce. Let's continue on. Rova. And that flamed amudal be Rova. Omar Rova. Sorry, before that, I made a mistake. Before that, we have a story. Shmuel va'Avlat. Shmuel va'Avlat. It's right across Tanhum Alaz. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 21 lines on the top.
Again, the top.
Lamed Amudala, 21 lines on the top. Shmuel va'Avlat Avu Yasme. Shmuel va'Avlat was sitting. Sitting where? Doesn't say where. Together, yes. Sitting where? 3 possibilities. Sitting in the house of Shmuel, sitting in a restaurant, third party, sitting in the house of Avlat. Doesn't say where. Okay. Aisu lekamayu Hamra Mevushal. Here I want to medayik is one of my diukim, which is the end of the shir. They brought a front of them. So here we see like against the Lechem Mishnah. I'm going to answer the Lechem Mishnah soon when we get to it. But what does it say? Aisu lekamayu. Where's the word lekamayu? Them. Not like the Mishnah that Shmuel was drinking alone and I was sitting there. A front of them means there were two of them sitting. Now you can say maybe Shmuel sat down to drink, Avla ate with him, and the people brought wine in front of them. But really, to start with, Shmuel was sitting alone. They were planning to put the wine in front of Shmuel, and suddenly Avla ate it, so it became in front of them. Now, mashma. That means they were sitting together, and they brought one another, put the drink together. Chamra? No, Chamra is wine.
You want to say that, you want to learn from in front of them, is their intention was
Correct.
How could it be?
What?
How could that be?
Can I speak about it?
It can't be.
Why not?
How could he do?
50-50.
Avla.
What?
How could Avla do?
How can Avla drink?
From the same wine that's spoken.
Why not?
He could. It's possible.
Why not? We'll see soon, but yes, why not? When he touched the wine. So what happened? Listen what happened. Avlat. What happens? Chama Mevushal, they brought in cooked wine. Moshchele Yodeh. Which means, when they brought cooked wine. And Shmuel probably knew. So Avlat took away his hands. Now the word Moshchele Yodeh is 2 options. The simple option and the allegoric option. The simple option is Moshchele Yodeh means he removed his hand, like Rashi says. Rashi says Moshchele Yodeh shelo yiga po v'yaseh. You shouldn't touch it and prohibit. Or Moshchele Yodeh means he decides not to be drinking. What?
Like we saw in Rishon.
Machlokes we'll see soon. I already give you my answers. Okay. Omalei, Shmuel told him, Arei omru yayin mevushal en mishum yayin nesech. It's cooked wine, and you can drink it with me. Cooked wine, tulo mitzvah ba'amo, oini. According to Rashi, it can be also b'shtiyah. So how will explain Avla according to Rashi? Next Gemara. If you look down below the Gemara, down below, we have Omarova. This is 3 lines before the end of the middle lines. Middle wide lines, Omarova. Ilchasa. Yayin Mosug Yeshua Gilui, Veshum Yayin Eseh. Yayin Mevushal. You have the Omarova. Ilchasa. Yayin Mevushal, Ein Bo Mishum Gilui, Ve'ein Bo Mishum Yayin Eseh. This cooked wine doesn't have any yayin nesech to it. So why I'm bringing this Gemara? Because from the original Gemara of Rav Ashi, the Gemara, he said, "Imishum ansuch elo menasche," that the goyim don't do nisuch. Uncooked wine. Here, Rava says, "Ve'ein bo mishum yayin nesech." The prohibition of yayin nesech doesn't exist on it. Period, they say. Period. Not that they don't do an act of nisuch. Okay, maybe they don't do an act of nisuch, but maybe ushtu oiser and mishum yayin nesech, mishum oiser, according to the Ramban, which we'll see soon in a second. It says no. Ein mishum yayin nesech, there's no yayin nesech on it. Yayin mevushal, no yayin nesech on it. Good. Those are the 3 or 4 major Gemaras we have. Now we're going to read the Rosh. I'm ready for the Rosh. I'm starting the Rosh inside. It's in the papers of Diaspora Yeshiva papers. It's in also the back of the Gemara's Rosh Perek Beis Imanu Gimel. It's in the second page, on top.
On the bottom.
But,
The Yayin Mevushal. It's in the bottom starts. Yes. Turn the page. 5 lines on the top on the right column. No, it starts 4 lines on the top. The last word, 4 lines on the top.
Yayin Mevushal.
The Yayin Mevushal. Cooked wine. Achal shiritiach. After you boil it, Nika Mevushal. Wine which is boiled after you boil it is called cooked. We learned cooked wine, heter wine that a Jew cooked, lo menaske, en boyai nesech, that's all his language. Right? What is mevushal? What is cooked? Eliyahu.
Boil.
Reb Eliyahu.
yes,
What is the definition of cooking?
that you bring something to its boiling point,
What does boiling point means?
that it,
How many bubbles? In the middle, the sides, everywhere.
even a little bit is already, then it has reached its boiling point.
Yes,
So
sir.
very few more bubbles.
That's a
But if you put, depends. If you put fire on a vessel, the fire is in the middle of the center of the vessel, right? So only under the center is boiled. And the rest is less. If you put a barometer, if you put a thermometer a monitor to terminate to know how many degrees. In the middle could be X, and the side could be Y.
Well, it's moving around once it starts boiling.
So it means it has to be boiled, move around everywhere. If you look, you see little bubbles in the beginning. Little small little bubbles, little air bubbles. What does boiling mean?
Like Shabbos,
Ah,
47, 45, 45.
what does boiling mean? Not so simple. What? Yatzalilesbo. So you don't need bubbles. So when he got the irtiach is boiled. What is orteach? No, orteach is not bubbles. Orteach is
whirling boil.
hot. Orteach means hot.
I always thought it meant boil.
Doesn't say babur.
In wine,
How long I need to put a salt on top of a meat in order that the salt will take the
Blood.
what?
Blood.
The blood. How long?
18 minutes.
Kedei.
Alachmir.
Kedei. Yeah, but kedei. Boil it, what? And then we have measurements. 18 minutes, right? Meal. Which means if I put normal fire, in a normal pot, the time that will take la'antiach is 18 minutes. If I put water on fire, 18 minutes, what do I get? I get little bubbles, or I get the whole thing bubbling? What? The whole thing boils? Yes?
Many years ago, one of the jobs I had at the restaurant.
You know the difference between little bubbles and all I think it'd be 3-4 minutes difference.
I know that because one of my meals was to cook pasta al dente, spaghetti al dente. I had all
Pasta al dente.
al dente.
Al dente on his knowledge.
The point was the water was almost boiling a little bit, and then when the odor came in, I would turn up the gas full blast and wait till it was boiling and boiling and boiling and boiling, the whole pot really, really, really boiling, and then you throw in the pasta. Then you throw
Get the heat, get the punch of the
It's a
heat.
big pot, it's a big pot. front, all has to be really chazak, when you throw that pasta in.
That's called, we call it murbechet. Minchat murbechet. Revucha. The water's boiling on it and you throw it as revucha. Okay. This is very serious what I'm asking. It's not stop. It's one small bubbles or the whole pot needs to boil. How much? We're going to see in a second. You print out the Maseches of everyone?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. From yesterday to today is gone? Oh, you still have it. Get out this. What is this? This is it? No, I can't. Yeah, the Beis Yosef. Yeah, the Beis Yosef. We printed the Beis Yosef. It's important to know. So I want to spend time. Oh, here's it. I want to spend time next week on this. We're going to give it all the truth. What I want to spend the next week on what is the level of cooking. Okay? Boiling, how much boiling? If you have pasteurizing, what does pasteurizing mean? If you boil it through microwave, through laser, how much do you need to boil? There's only sheet of the Rosh. We'll see the Beis Yosef brings other opinions. Brings a Yerushalmi that it needs to lose is value. To lose value means it has to evaporate. Little small boils doesn't yield the value. It's a real boil. And how much? Some time. How much in your mechaseh? All those things, the Maseches Shoynim and somebody wants to Yashav is the same time or more. Not so simple. This is a subject we're not going to learn today, but I'm going to give out to Beis Yosef, and people should have it in the next week. I'm going to give out some tshuvas. Melinda, HaRav Yitzchak, Moshe Feinstein, all the doilim and talk about this. I want to spend time on it because it's very
Shy.
very shy. You learn the sugiya, you have to know this. Can be amoritz, right?
In science,
What?
In science, every liquid has its own boiling point.
Right? The mishkal suguli, right? Every liquid has a different boil point. Okay, so it says, Yayin Mevushal achar she'irtiach nikra mevushal beperek kiro nechliku. Yomar ifshelo ze bishul, there's machloikes if you defrost is considered cooking, but she'irticho, when you boil it, ave mevushal kula alma. V'chen kos havarai b'shem hagoyim. So the decision of the Rosh is, and he brings the right name of the geniuses, that what makes wine cooked, how do I define wine that is cooked? That tum anymore, there's no isur anor, and according to Rosh, not even isur shtiya, that stops the isur anor according to everyone. Anor is a machlokes. What's the point, cutting point of cooking? Irtiach. Where does he learn it from? Ilchoi Shabbos. The same way by Shabbos, when I defrost, it's not machlokes is considered cooking, but boiling, not boiling. Irtiach. I don't know the right word in English. Irtiach means.
Today means boiling.
What?
Today means boiling.
Today, irtiach means boiling. Maybe there's another word in English to define it very exactly, but it's a boiling. So when it boils, boom, that's considered cooking. Okay. He's going to bring out the Beis Yosef, then he brings out the Shittas, he brings out Rabbi, he brings Yerushalmi back and forth, and now we're going to spend time, I want to spend some time with next week on it. V'adon tamua. On this, the Rosh brings a very strong question. V'adon tamua. This is very big wonder. Since the rabbis made a decree on ordinary wine of goyim, mishum b'noisei, because of the daughters, v'chi mishum she'irtichoi, is it because she boiled it? Lo yishayach ha'gzera, the gzera doesn't apply? What does that mean? What does that mean? And he says tamua. This thing is wonder. If the rabbis prohibit not to drink ordinary wine of a goy, because you might marry your daughters, because you boiled the wine, you're not going to marry your daughters anymore? I can answer yes.
Why? How?
Why? Oh, So Rashi in the Flamet Bey says, why the rabbis prohibit ordinary wine of a goyim because you might marry their daughters? Rashi says, Bayeh burns, and burns in it. Yayin Mevushal burns? I don't know. Maybe he does.
What did Rashi say?
Rashi didn't tell about normal yayin. What?
There's less alcohol.
Less.
Less,
But the question that less is enough of a difference. So the Rosh is a double promua. The Rosh understands it's a wonder.
Why is it less? Why is it less?
What?
Why does he go in the wine store and buy it?
The alcohol
First of all,
Usually it's 14%.
The alcohol-
Alcohol, 14%.
Shlomo, can you give me?
you look at today's wine, then you'll see Yayin Mevushal have the same alcohol as Yayin.
Okay, good. So I think like this. I think the Rosh Kasha is based on this definition, what is considered Yayin Mevushal. If Yayin Mevushal is just boiled, it can be boiled a little bit, so the alcohol can stay the same even. But the B'Is Yosef brings out of the sheet. Listen to B'Is Yosef. Masha Kosav Rabbeinu, I'm reading B'Is Yosef, the second paragraph on the left side.
Second paragraph.
Masha Kosav Rabbeinu, Memosa Nikre Mevushal Mishirtiach Agabesh, Ken Kosav Sham HaRosh, ונוסן טעם משולפן גקי הולך לקוי ימין אשר ובשולוי. אבל כשהרתיחוי, המבושל כולה מחוס המראי בשם הגויים. עד כאן. The Rosh says that what's defined cooked wine? Boiling. Like we find in Machloikes and Shabbos about defrosting, but everybody agrees boiling is mevushal. So Shabbos mevushal, irtiach, yain nesech stam yeshon mevushal is the same. Shabbos, yain stam yeno. Mevushal, the definition of mevushal of Shabbos, the issue of Shabbos, you get stoned on it, Chadashon person gets stoned, so here, what stops the stam yeno from Isu Ano, at least, is bishul cooking. What is bishul boiling? So the Rosh says so. V'chen posach sefer truma. V'chen posach sefer truma. So we have Rosh and truma. Wow. V'aram, you have it in Rabbi Yitzchak, Rabbi Yitzchak. V'aram kosav achar dibra Ravid. The Ram after he quoted the Ravid in the Goyim that the definition of cooked is what? Boiling. He wrote, Aval Ramban kosav. The Ramban wrote, Shekeshetechsa al gabe ha'u minidosoi. When we'll start reducing on top of the fire his measurement. What does measurement means? Mida. What is mida?
Volume.
Volume. When the volume starts reducing, when the volume starts reducing, nicer mevushal becomes mevushal. Where do we know it from? He brings a different dinyan. Not the dinyan of Shabbos, the dinyan of damaging wine of Truma. It says in Yerushalmi, Perek Yudalef, the Truma Zalochalef. Ein mevashlim yain shel Truma. We don't cook wine of Truma. A Jew that has wine of Truma, he has to give it to a Kohen. Can he cook it? No. Mipnei shememaito imidosoi. Because by cooking it, you reduce its volumes. Ooh, means the boiling stopped evaporating. The answer is possible. The do could be the same. Simple is not the same. Boiling is not bubbling, and losing its volume is much more, a long period of boiling. He says really means the same. Why? Is that how it gets reduced the volume through boiling. But this is little boiling. There's a lot of boiling. Here, when it reduces volume, means that what evaporates first?
The alcohol.
Alcohol or water, Rabbi?
The alcohol.
What evaporates first? Alcohol or water?
Alcohol.
Why? Who says so?
I say so.
You know so.
I say because how do
Yeah, you know that.
What?
I...
Equal?
It's not a sport.
Melech, where's the melech? Melech. You can look in your machine there. What evaporates quicker? Alcohol's really important in those questions. What evaporates first? Equal or water or alcohol?
It's together.
Let's see, there's science today. You can check in Rabbi. The Rabbi there, Rabbi Google.
The water is together with alcohol.
Let's ask the Rabbi there.
It's together.
Then say Svores and one yes for
It's together.
Yes, sure. Sure, that's what you're here for.
I cook with wine only. My meat is cooked with wine only. In other words, I put meat, I mix it up, I fry it, etc., and then with the etc., and then I put the wine in until it's covered. And then I wait on high heat until all the alcohol, so you don't smell any alcohol coming out anymore. And then what you're left with, a little bit of water, a little bit of liquid, and that's what, and so all the alcohol, and you cook it for...
Doesn't mean anything, I'll tell you why. You want to hear you say why? I'll tell you why. No lie, there's no proof for that. I'll tell you. No, because the wine was 100 milliliters. 50% of it was alcohol. It starts reducing 20%, 50% of that was alcohol.
It's not 50, it's 12%.
So now, there's no lie, yes. I want to know of science.
Google said here that 7, 8
Yeah.
grades is enough for alcohol.
Again, what?
78 grades.
Degrees?
It's enough for
78 degrees of alcohol. And how much is water? Water's 100. Okay, we have Rabbi Google, that's the answer.
Now what?
That's very serious.
Now what?
So it says in order to evaporate alcohol already 78 degrees Celsius evaporates. In order to evaporate water it needs 100 conscious.
And here, what is alcohol? Says
When I say his meter was reduced,
it means with alcohol, or do we can go on here?
1 second, that doesn't make any sense. When I, yes, the
You asked which is faster, right?
Yes.
So it's saying that at the same temperature, alcohol is faster.
Okay, it says there. Well, now, because I couldn't have an answer, because if 78 stopped evaporating, so either I'm evaporating be before the boiling of the water.
Yeah, that is just true, yeah.
If that's true, so already when I start heating your wine, it loses its measurement before it boils.
How do you know what's wine?
Because
What's wine?
how do I know what's wine? How do I know what's fire?
No, what is
I don't know
wine?
what's I know.
No, you don't. It's water and grapes and this.
No, okay, whatever wine is, I don't know right now, okay? Leave it alone, whatever wine is. Okay, good, you don't know, I know, but then leave it out alone. Okay, whatever wine is, I want to know the measurement of the Rambam. It's earlier or later?
Achasi.
Let's read again.
He says achasi.
Boiled out earlier, he said so.
What?
He says achasi.
He said
No, before the answer. When he brings, when the measurement, the volumes reduces on the fire from his measurement becomes mevushal. When that happens, before boiling or after? Or the same time? According to what I understand now, it should be before the boiling. I always thought it's later, this measurement. But now he sees before. Because at 50% alcohol should starts to evaporate when you have 78 Celsius. Before it reaches 100. How many seconds, how many minutes it takes between 78 Celsius to 100, which is about 22 degrees to go up with the water, but maybe a minute or two more, right? The 18 minutes, we know we have the Shulchan Aruch, Yerushalmi, the Gemara says, Ma'alach mil. 18 minutes is from 0 to 100 Celsius by water.
No, 0
to 100, yes. That's what it says. 0 to 100 Celsius is 1 meal, is 18 minutes. If 78 Celsius is already evaporates the alcohol, means that after 15 minutes, because if I take from 0 to 100, I divide it to 18. 100 to 18, how much is it? It's about 4 minutes, right? 4 minutes and something per what?
It takes about 15, 20 minutes for a bottle of wine to the alcohol to go away.
That's the point, 15 minutes. So about 15 minutes the alcohol starts going away, but the boiling will be only 3 minutes later, only in 18 minutes. So according to Ramban, he's giving an earlier time for the wine to become Yayin Mevushal.
Even before.
Even before. So he answers, maybe means the same thing. Through the boiling, it gets reduced. No, but until it gets boiling, it's 3 minutes later. So maybe the evaporation of those 3 minutes is not enough to see that the volumes goes down. Not nikah. And only when it's been recognized, only when it starts boiling, then you can recognize the evaporation. Reducing. The Chelkos of HaRav Toras HaBayizal v'zeh l'shoino. Eizu mevushal. What is cooking? Kol she'irtiach, when it's boiling. Nice and mevushal becomes cooked. V'yesh mishoim, some people say, she'en koli mevushal ad she'ismayil midosoi. Adei bishuloi. Only is called cooked to start reducing his measurements. V'yihoili looks to me, she'efshal l'irticha. It's not possible for boiling below miut mida unless the measurements start going down.
That means even before. Even before.
It looks that he learned that going down in the volume is much later than boiling. And he says, no, it looks to me that it's not possible that when it starts boiling, the measurement will start going down. So maybe you have to say, there's not a little evaporation. Evaporation, you can see the volume, the eye can recognize that the volume went down. In those 3 minutes between the 78 Celsius to 100 Celsius, or whatever it takes to boil wine, like he is, I don't know. Who says wine is like water? Maybe to boil wine is not 100 Celsius, I don't know. Check that. How long, what is the Celsius you need to have for boiling wine? I don't know.
78.
The different
78?
Yeah, because first the alcohol must be all gone before it can go to 100. As long as there's still alcohol in it, it doesn't go above 78.
Really?
Really?
I don't believe so, yes?
I don't know.
But
The fact, let's check Rabbi Google if you're right.
It doesn't help.
He's more reliable than
You
you
don't
are.
know what wine is. You don't know what,
Unfortunately.
you don't know what wine is.
I don't know, I also don't know. He's
So
searching
whatever
now.
you say doesn't
Now
help.
I started drafting, there was wrong my shear, but I want to because it's important.
But on 78 already, you see the volume going.
Let's see, what does it say, Rabbi?
Pure alcohol is 78 degrees, but wine is saying around 90 degrees.
Almost boiling.
Almost boiling.
Because when I boil my wine
Yes.
in the meat, it's like you come near it, you smell it, the steam is rising.
But when it starts steaming, before it boils, before the smell starts.
I don't know where it's going, but it's boiling.
Okay, we have to make a test. Okay, that will be for next week. This Shabbos, Bezrat Hashem, I give you a broken, you have meat, and you have wine, and give us the taste. When
Give
exactly,
you a taste.
okay, you know, good.
I'm going to bring in some wine.
Okay, so he says, it's not possible that boiling without putting down some measure from the volume. But if it was before, right, it must be this after. Okay. Seems to be that the other opinion of meal is later. It has to be probably nikah. Okay. Kabbalah Zorim Tachiyah. Okay. We have to learn next week. B'Srat Hashem. Okay. I did some meal together with you guys, just to get the idea. So comes the Rosh and he has a big one. The Rosh says, Adobo Tamua, if the definition is of boiling, cooking is boiling. If the definition of cooking is boiling and not reducing, which is later, boiling means missing a part or the same. So he says, there's still gzeira of daughters. So he asks, what do you mean? The alcohol is there or not there? Depends what level of cooking. If the level of cooking is boiling, and how long boiling? 1 second boiling? Doesn't say how much. So the Rosh understood that the boiling is 1 second. It reaches the point of boiling. She said she's still married and daughters. The alcohol is still there. So if it's still a long period of boiling, that's still, the measurement starts going down, the volume going down. Okay, there's no daughters anymore. Everything evaporating away, start reducing volume, it's finished. It's just a sweet thing. Candies, we also love. But sweet is not no burning. The alcohol burns in the wine. So he made the Rosh has a kasha of double tamua. Since he defined the same of the Rabbi and Goyim, the definition of Mevushal is Altiach, not reducing the volume, so the alcohol can still be there.
Not tam.
What?
Not tam like the Ramban. Tam.
Not like the Ramban that it reduced the volume means there's no alcohol anymore. So since there's still a little bit of alcohol there, so Mishum Shirtichoi Lo Yishar Gzeya, because he boiled, there's no Gzeya anymore. Lo Yisrael. You can find today in Israel many cooked wine, 13%, 40% alcohol. Why not 15? Because a little bit went away. A little bit, there's still strong alcohol there. If you just need to get the reach of boil, still there's a lot of alcohol in there. There's still what I say, there's still burning. But even going to define like the Ramban,
Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter. Of course, the Ramban says as to reduce from its volume. To reduce from the volume means something evaporated. So it went away. There's no alcohol, no gzei. Okay.
No alcohol period. No alcohol period.
No alcohol period.
That's
What?
Doesn't say no alcohol period.
We're going to talk about it next week. I'm saying lichoiro, I would say, without knowing in depth what it means there, I would say the machloikas between the Ramban and the Raven and the Goyim, what is the definition of Mevushal, depends on his kasha. He understood Mevushal is just cooking. Boiling. Sorry. Cooking means boiling. So he says it's to gzera, but he say it. Look at Amud Aleph. In Amud Aleph we have Teras Habayso. Turn the page, you have Teras Habayso. Yes, Rabbi. This one you gave me, you boiled it, yes. How long? You stop. There's still alcohol there, yes. But if it needs to evaporate, you have to put it some time. Then you can recognize the reduced levias to leave some time. Let's see now, guys, time is limited. That's what I'm saying. What's the definition of Mevushal? According to the Rosh, that is Artiach, he's talking of alcohol. But according to the Ramban and the Yerushalmi, the Medamet and the Yerushalmi of Yayin Truma, that we might be docile. So then the Choyra. What? There's no Gezerah. We see the Teres HaBayis. I'm reading in the left column on top, Teres HaBayis, and Amud Aleph in the second column, in the second paragraph on the left column. The second line from the beginning on the left column. The course of Nishtana Shmoy Vereichoi, as long as it wasn't changed, his name, his smell, the Shem Yain Stam, all of Osu Mishum Lo Yisayah. When there's the same name, ordinary wine, and the smell and the name is still there, I can decree because of the daughters. V'choimetz v'yayin mevushal, vinegar, or cooked wine, ainu time, the reason why there's no daughters. Mishum shein ta'amo yayin, the taste is not wine. Ve'en shmo yayin stam, it doesn't have any more name of a yayin stam as the escort name of yayin mevushal. What do you mean there's no taste? We just talked about a little bit of boy you gave me today. Moshe gave us his style of drinking. Because we said that Rosh says everyone drink his own style. His style of drinking is what? He boils, he takes the wine, he gave today, you get a guy to come and share. You maybe saw through the video. He gave out to everyone here, that's maybe that cup there. Still a little bit of that wine. Special wine of the style of Moshe Herzberg. Then he cooks his wine, he just reaches boil and he stops right away. And he puts honey in it.
Maybe they
Yeah,
say-
you drank with him a little bit? Good, that's good. So that type of wine, there's also alcohol there. If that's true, there's still alcohol in there. So what does he say? There's no taste of wine.
No, the taste of
Depends if taste is alcohol. It says it
You
is.
see, by the Gemara's Medamen,
No. There's a taste of wine too.
the Gemara's
It
Medamen,
depends what-
Is wine you can taste? It's still there, right? Bring it here. Bring it to Rabbi Fisher. You tell me. I hope you just cooked it right away.
Well, I tasted it.
Okay. I tasted this
Yeah,
morning.
it is.
So there is taste of wine there.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Gemara,
The structure of wine, all the
But the way the taste is like the grapes.
grapes, alcohol, everything is there.
Okay.
the Gemara's Medamen.
Yes, Rabbi. Yes, Rabbi
The
Gabriel.
honey gives the taste back. But this is not.
Could be okay. Let's make a test. If you don't put honey, no.
The Gemara's Medamen.
But 1 second, we come into a big yesoid.
The Gemara's Medamen.
1 second. I'm saying the whole kasha. Yeah, we're here. I didn't taste it.
Can I taste it?
No, it's mine.
I'm
Belongs to
sorry.
me.
I'm sorry.
Belongs to me. Don't put your eyes on my gift. It's a joke. Believe me, you can have it. The reason I want to give it to you because then I won't disgrace how much you can give. I'm not going to drink his gift. I didn't drink it when he gave it because it was early morning. I can't drink it on an empty stomach. But afternoon, you can drink it.
Forgive me.
The Gemara's Medamen to Yayin.
Nobody sees it. Can take it.
Yayin. The Gemara's Medamen Yayin
Yes.
to Gilui.
Yes.
What's going on?
Right.
So he's saying like a snake. He only knows his real wine he touches. Not a real wine he doesn't touch it. You see the Gemara clearly in the
The
flamme.
steak's better person.
No, the Gemara is Medamen the snake.
What's Bechina?
And the China of Yayin.
No, Bechina would
I don't know the answer
Snakes
to
will
you.
drink in
You
that.
have to bring a snake.
But the
Put
Gemara
wine,
Medamen.
see.
The
Cook
Gemara
wine, you
Medamen.
put, make a test.
The
The
Gemara made.
Gemara made a test.
The Gemara
But we
made.
don't know from the Gemara what is the definition of wine,
No, but the
Mevushal, that the snakes
no,
don't
but
come.
you see the Gemara made a gather.
Yes.
Why the Gemara made it together? You see, you make it together.
No,
The gather of
one-
Yayin is a gather that a Yayin.
Listen, Rabbi Shmuel, everybody agrees that cooked wine is not like dry red wine.
Okay.
It's not the same. But is that enough to say there's no same here?
He didn't say
But
it's
you
not
don't know.
yain.
But it's not wine.
It's not yain stam. It means it's
Not yain stam.
And he also said, that, who said?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but the Torah always says,
Doesn't call it's not yain.
yeah, but he said, she'ain time or yain.
Yain
In
stam.
what time?
No, before that. V'choimetz v'yayin mevushal, ainu taimo mishum she'in ta'amo yain, ve'shmo yain stam. He says two
Why did they
things.
say stam? Why did they say stam?
Because it's called yain mevushal.
Right.
It's Shem
It's
Levad.
still yain.
But he says two svaras. It's yain mevushal, it's not yain stam. As another Aaron name.
It's not tam of yain.
And then taimo yain, he says.
It's tam of yain mevushal.
He doesn't say that. He didn't say that, those words, Rabbi. He added it. She'ain time or yain. The taste is not wine.
Right.
What does that mean? So I want to say about what they're arguing in reality.
So then it's not yain mevushal.
All the
You
argument.
don't call it yain mevushal. You call it.
One second. I want to say two options. I will raise two options and I will solve on it. There's two options how to explain this contradiction between the Rosh and the Rashba and others. One option is that they're arguing the definition. What does tam yain mean? That level of a change between dry red wine and cooked red wine, it's a little bit of a change. It's not time or yain, it's not taste of wine. That's one option. The other option is, I think, which is a better option, is machloekos, what is the definition of yain mevushal? If the definition of yain mevushal is like the guy with the goyim, yartiach, boiling. So when you boil, it's finished, done. Done what? It's done that it's not menasek in his back. But it's not done that there's no alcohol in it still, and the fire to marry the daughter is still there. Double tamua, mishum shirtiah, nobody say it.
So I get the third option. that this-
1 second, I will hear your third option, but I didn't finish. But the Rashba, I want to hear your third option. But the Rashba that says that there's no tam yain, because he made me learn like the Ramban, Yerushalmi, that what defines yain mevushal is reducing from its volume. So when the volume goes down, the alcohol went out. When the alcohol went out, there's no time yain, and the Shmo yain stop. That's a simple way to do it. Yes, Reb Chaim, what's your third option?
They won't drink it. They won't. They'll just
Who's
sell it.
they?
The goyim who you're going to drink with them and
Yes.
their daughters, they won't serve that as a drink. They'll only sell it. That's why it's not shy.
It's a very good svor, but it's not do with us. Because the Rasbo says, ain't time o yain.
And therefore, what?
No time o yain.
So what time is the reason why they'll drink it?
One
for
second.
daughters?
There's no time of yain. That's what he says.
Okay, and therefore.
Well, I didn't kill it. What?
And therefore
So
what?
if there's no time of yain,
Yeah.
so why we or no time? I understand. There's no daughters.
Why? That time is different than the wine itself.
Again, what makes you to run after the daughter? A person to run after the daughters? Yain. There's no time yain.
Drinking wine.
The Rashba says, not me. The Rashba says there's no point saying.
Yeah.
The Rashba is answering the Rosh Kasha.
Right.
Rosh has a kasha double tamo, and I boil it, there's no point saying. So the Rashba is not true. There's no point saying by cooked wine.
Yeah.
לא עשו שום לא יסיים, בכל מיני וואי, משום שאין טיים או יין. ואין שמו יין סתם. לפי כך לגוזו בוהן, of the
You
Torah.
can explain why. You can, maybe they
He
won't
said a
drink.
fact. There's no taste of wine.
Good. That's
Now how come that the Rosh used the Lashon Tema? There still be daughters there. What's the argument? The argument, definition of that level of a change. Of Yayin Mevushal with alcohol. But it's not 100% the same of taste of yain, not cooked. That what he calls it not no time yain, and the Rashba calls it run after the daughters. Oh no, it's easier to say.
That's hard, that's hard.
That's hard. It's easier to say to argue the definition of Yayin Mevushal, and that's why he brings first the Yayin, and he wants the definition of Mevushal because v'tema, because of bishul ardia mishum shirtichoi. Number one. Number two, 1 second, number two. Here we have two options to explain the Rosh Kasha. We have the option of the Ran, we have the option of the Ramban. It was an argument we learned last week and 2 weeks ago. What is the definition of the Gzeira of Shtia and Ano by Stam Yeno? We have three categories basically. Three categories, three options. One was it that there's two Gzeiras. Daughters is drinking, and since we worry maybe this guy's Menasech, we know he's a Menasech guy, and we don't know if he touched, maybe yes or not. They saw people start doing it. Now there's a worry as a something, 50%, 50% or something don't like. No, we worry. So we don't know. We worry. The rabbis, they said we worry. Some people do it, and therefore, it's shchiach. The rabbis prohibit totally. So the reason we have two different reasons in two gzeiras, and even the Rashba said two separate basin to the level, or one basin, two gzeiras, or actually two separate basins. That's one idea. Shtia is what you say. Chash nisuch is isu of Anoah. Rashi, Meiri, Rashbo, is what that box. Second box we had second box, the Ran. The Ran said that really the Gzeira is only one. Mishum lo yisayim. But the rabbis couldn't give wine, just the Gzeira like bread and cooked food of going and the oil. There's only also b'shtia. Since it's not bread, it's wine. And wine by going, they menasech it. And if the only oyster b'shtia like bread, people will come to permit real yayin nesech. What's the name? Yayin, ordinary wine. You permit only shti on banan ano. So people will come to permit stam yayin on banan, yayin nesek banan. So to protect yayin nesek, we said that we prohibit, the rabbis prohibit because of their daughters. They gave it another type of isur, it's also isur ano. So the real gzeira is the daughters. The daughter only should be shtia, but they cannot do shtia because since we talk about wine, and yayin is doime to yayin nesech, and if I permit be'ano, people will permit also yayin nesech, protect yayin nesech, real yayin nesech, we prohibit in this isur b'leisem also ano, but it's not a chash nisur. It's not a worry maybe did nisur. The Tas learned that the Rosh here is running like the Ram. We'll see in a second. That's second box. The third box is the Ramban. The Ramban is in the same box of the Ram, a little bit different. He said really the Gzeira was only B'Leisem, only the daughters. So really should prohibit only drinking, like bread, like the oil, like the cooked food. Can't eat it, can't drink it, can't eat the bread, oil, and cooked food. If it's oil shulchan melochim, etc. So we always said, good, now it's prohibited. But the rabbis had a problem. They couldn't make up their own isurim. And since in the Torah they found, Doraisa, they found Isra Yayin, which is Yayin Nesech, a real Yayin Nesech. These who are no, so they couldn't give the same material a different Isra. That's the rule. The rule is the rabbis do Kendoraisa. Why? Shouldn't look a joke for them, Maratzot, whatever the story is. So they said, oh, it's like Yayin Nesech, which means that Suwa, the type of Isur, which is also B'shti and Ano, is like a type of Isur of Yayin Nesech. But there's no worry of any Isur here. There's only B'Leisem. Again, so we have here, basically I would say two groups with a street shot. One group is two Gzeiras. Gzeira of B'Leisem is drinking. Worry maybe was the Misnasech is Isur and Ano. That's one group. In that group there's Rashi, one Beis Din, Rashba, two Beis Din, one after the other, two different generations. That's one group. Second group is, there's only one Gzeira, B'Leisem. Page 36, Lamed Vav, and Chavtes is one Isu. There's only B'Leisem. So what does this do with Yayin Nesech? No. Aran wants to protect. They couldn't give just on wine Isu, only drinking. And I don't know, because that will destroy, would weaken the real Yayin Nesech. People will say, hey, what's the difference? Orna, there's only shtia, there's wine. Why this yayin is also about no? Also anona. So to protect that, but it's not the one word of nisur. Third possibility, which is also the same idea like the Ramban, is not the word yayin nesech, but they gave an isur mishum loisei, isur shtia, but they tzu since it's wine, and they don't manzi the rabbis called the Rabbon Ken Doraisa Tikun. They fish like the Doraisa. And since Yayin Nesech is also no, so they gave the tzu on this wine isu, the shape of the isu of Osubano, but not a worry of Yayin Nesech. It's possible, so they said, they told them Meratzi, it should be Yayin Nesech, but it's not really isu. Now let's go back to the Rosh. The Rosh has a big kasha. What about Gzeira B'Leisem? Even though you boil the wine, there's two problems B'Leisem. V'im mishum de lebar nisuchu, maybe they don't do nisuch. What do you want to say? What do I care if they don't do nisuch? And more than that, when the Rashba says, what do I care? You boil it. What does the Rosh hold? Wine, mevushal, wine that is cooked, and it's just boiled, there's still Gzeira B'Leisem. But B'Leisem gives me isu on shtia or no. He holds like the Rashba, Rashi, and Meiri, that the issue of B'Leisem is only drinking, and no. So what does he Mishum Nisu? We never talk about Nisu. We understand Nisu, they don't. You understand that?
Ramban.
What?
Maybe it's like the Ramban.
Very good, Lepel. Now you already got the chat. We have two options here. It definitely cannot work
with the Rashba, cannot work with the Meiri and Rashi. Ella must be holds with the group that the Gzera of Broisem produces both these sugiya. Says that because she boiled it, there's no fire of Broisem, and Broisem produced both these sugiya. But wait a second. Maybe they don't do Nisuk, or I can't Nisuk. He says, no. Maybe because they don't do Nisuk, so people will not mix or will not destroy Yayin Esek. The Ran says, I'm worried to prohibit Ano because if I permit it with Ano, people will permit also real Yayin Esek Ano. No, people will not make connection because they don't do Nisuk on it. It's out of the box of Nisuk. Same thing as the Ramban, I say. The Ramban says the rabbis gave this yain as type of isur, Toras of Toras of Yayin Esek, and they said, Mishum Tolu Yayin Esek. They told the Ameratzim, don't toil of Yayin Esek, but we cannot toilet the Ameratzim of Yayin Esek if they don't do nisur. So maybe they won't toil on such isur. They won't do Toras because not toilet on Toras. That's what the Ramban says. So really, the Rosh can be two options. The first option thereon is the Taz Pshat. The second pshat is my pshat, but also the Rebbe. This is why he says, I wanted to open the shir that the Rosh can be, has to be with the group. That the Yisuk Zerah is saying as only B'Yun, it can be Ram, like the Taz says. Or really, I can say even like the Ramban. What's the answer? Let's be careful. Careful. V'im mishum delaba nisuchu, v'alo yayin mosuk nama nisuchu. If you want to say because I'm on Nisuk, so there's no gzeira that you need to protect Yayin Esek, I'll show you Yayin Mosuk. What is Yayin Mosuk? Wine that people mix it with water. It's also Laban Nisuk, but they don't menasach it to a Mizbeach. So, and yet there's also Yayin Esek, it's Tam Yayin. So you can't say because it's not Bar Nisuk, it's out of the box, and I won't give it the Isuk according to the Ramban. I wouldn't give it the Isuk Ken Dorais of Osubano, or like the Ram, I don't have to protect really Yayin Esek because not no get to it. I'll show you Yayin Mozuk. There's also Laban Isuk. It's true we want to protect when he says Osubano. So he made it the kasha is, so what if I boil it? There's two Moisem and I should always say Osubano. What's his answer? Here the answer needs an explanation. And I found a beautiful solution. Listen guys. There's so possible. Lefisha mevushal eino motzui kol kach. Since cooked wine is not common so much, anything which is not common, like Yayin Tapuchim and Rimoinim, is not common. The rabbis didn't make the decree. Yes, like the Rambam. Yes, come on. It's not common. There's no gzeira. What's the conclusion, guys? Shitas HaRosh, cooked wine, there's no gzeira of Loiseyim, and it's permitted Ba'ano and also Shlit, and also the drink. No, if there's no gzeira of Loiseyim, there's no gzeira of Nisuk, everything is out. Because not common is out of the gzeira. It's not common, so the rabbis never put it in. It was not part of what the rabbis wrote, the made gzeira, the king of Yayin. It's Tam Yayin or not Yayin Mevushal, Mevushal is out. It's not common, out. You can find, but it's not common. Because it destroys it. You know, not common. I think especially in the olden days, the main drink was wine. Today there's Coca-Cola, Zero, Sprite, Excel, Fanta, Naguzin, Limonada. I give you a list. You go there, you can't even read between such a long list of things. There's thousands of soft drinks and hard drinks and middle drinks and high drink and low drink. High tech, low tech, whatever you want. Just choose. The other day, at my daughter's wedding, I was sitting on Shabbos, and my son-in-law brings shlukim. You know shlukim? It's like a little plastic type of
Have it here.
shlukim, right? But it was like shlukim. So what is this? This is alcohol drink mixed. They're really giving you a shlukim. Means they put it in the cold. Freezer, don't you know, it has vodka.
Get it.
Well, you get the good stuff. To the last, I said, wow, what a chiddush. It really means of so common alcohol drinks. And people eat shlukim. the sluk. Anyhow,
You gotta be careful with the kids.
only the older guys touched it. The kids go, they threw it on the ground. They don't want to tell you. Anyhow, let's go back to us. The Rosh holds, since cooked wine is not common, it's not part of the Gzeira. The problem against the Rosh is very simple. Why the Gemara says that Yayin Mevushal, there's no Yayin Nesech in it? Rava said, what Rava said, Aflamin, Yayin Mevushal, and bo Yayin Nesech.
They don't do it.
How do you know they don't do? Because the Gemara page 29 said that they don't menasech. In page 29b, the Gemara says, Yain Shalom, wine of a Jew that I deposit by a goy, there's no problem of nesech. Why? Because they don't menasech. So you make a simple analogy, which is not muhach. Simple analogy say, because they don't menasech, that's why Rava said that Yain Mevushal, there's no Yain Nesech. There's no Gzeras Yain Nesech. Right?
Right, go ahead.
1 second.
What's that got to do with that?
1 second. The Rosh said the reason why Yayin Mevushal, there's no Gzeira of Noiseyim and a worry of Yayin Nesech of the Ram, or giving the Meratzim and the Yayin Nesech. It's not because they don't do Nisuch, it's not common.
They never boiled it.
They never was, it's not common. And the Gemara says they don't do Nisuch. How does it work? So I found in the Ramban, in the previous sugiya, those that have the old papers, you look at the Ramban used 2 words. The Ramban says like this. Those that have the olden papers, the first paragraph, the last 2 lines. On the first paragraph of the Ramban. V'zeh shelo goes the last 2 lines on the first paragraph. V'zeh shelo goes to the Mevushal. You know why they didn't make a decree by cooked wine? When I read it then, I couldn't have what he's saying. Only when I read it now and I learned the sugiya, I understand what he's saying. Lefi, because she'eino misnasech, they don't do nisuch. Ve'eino motzu kol kach, it's not common so much. Lachush loi, to worry for it, lebnoiseyim, for the daughters. He's mixing 2 batches, putting 2 together. It says, number 1, they don't cook. Rabbi Cook, where's Cook? This guy Cook is not around, right? Where's Caleb? Cook.
He went to the
Well, I went to the trip. Okay. They don't cook, they don't do nisuch, and it's not so common to worry for it for the daughters.
They don't do these,
And it's not a common thing
to have a cooked
to have a cooked one that you need to worry about it for the daughters. But he says not common so much. Seems to me that Rabban is saying, just to use the word, the concept of not common, does not sound common so much, so kol kach. It's not 100% not common. Like I asked you yesterday. I asked you yesterday through the machine. Oh, it was last week, yesterday. And it was a couple of days ago. Do they have going? Somebody told me, I need to show you have cooked wine, because there's Aaron, there's going, because kosher wine, and they trick, they do cooked wine. But the goy, they don't have a problem of kosher, not kosher. Do they have cooked wine? He told me, yes, they do. You told me. That goy must have cooked wine. I don't know.
restaurants.
Not restaurant, you go to a store. Can you buy a cooked wine? What?
No problem.
It's common or not common? Common, that's the point. So since today's common is a big machos and poskim, Yisrael comes back according to Rosh Hashanah. But Lamaise, it's common. So Rashi said, the Ramban says, Eino motzu kol kach. So he has to have 2 svars. Number 1 is, they don't do nisuch. So then when the rabbis gave the derabon of Kedoraisa, they had to tell them meratzim, mishum lesa, where they made it clear of Yayin Nesech. They cannot make it clear because they don't do nisuch. So why is that enough? Because they don't do nisuch and mizbeach. And maybe they will do nisuch, they will extend nisuch, like the Rishonim and Rabban himself asked later on, that today they're going also bring fruits and vegetables, bring shuach, as the Rosh brings also afterwards. They do many things. They have much more bigger concept of bringing to the Mizbeach. So saying the fact they don't do the Mizbeach of Jews doesn't mean that they don't mark him in their Mizbeach. It's not a strong swallow. Number 2, he says, it's not common. Kol kach. So both of them is a half limping swallows. Both together, the rabbis didn't make a decree of Mishum Yisrael and Yayin Mevushal. So the Megillah, the Gemara has to say, you don't have to worry that the Menasech it, and the Megillah, if the Menasech make it clear, and Yisrael say no, because the Goy no Menasech, but it's not the only reason. It's not a complete reason. There's a reason of Kam and Kokach, and each reason you need. Because the reason of not Menaseh is not a complete reason, because the Goyim sometimes extend, like all the Rishonim ask. So not Menaseh, they ask on wine with honey, and with the next continuation of the Rambam and the Rosh Miftar. So they don't do the Mizbeach with honey. But Goyim do many things. They bring Broshua, they bring Peroids. Same thing as here. They don't Menaseh Yayin Mevushal and Mizbeach. So maybe Goyim extended. It's not a strong swallow. He has to bring also like common, but even common is not as strong as like I'm going down. Both together, not choishes. That's how we answer. That's how I want to answer. Pshat in the Rosh from the Gemara.
That answer, that is according to the Ramban. The Rosh asked that Nisu is not a good reason to because Mazuk it doesn't. We don't do Nisu, and even though it's also. The
answer is that Mazuk is Yayin. That's what the Rosh himself says in the beginning. I jumped at the first 4 lines of the Rosh. He says, Mazuk, each one drinks according to his taste, according to his world. So Mazuk is Yayin. Yayin Mevushal, as Hashem Levi. It's the same taste, because the Rosh holds Mishum Yayin. So he says, but they don't do Nisuch. Yayin Mazuk, they do Nisuch Lekoyim. Yayin Mevushal, they don't do Nisuch. It's not a complete swallow, because they can extend. Depends what type of going they are. They also bring fruits of Yeshua. So then you have the svara of Lo Shchiach, but Lo Shchiach Kokach. It's Shchiach, but not Kokach. It's not a complete svara. So you have to have both together. That's I don't think Pshat in the Rosh, otherwise it's a big kasha in the Rosh reason. Okay. Time is limited, is late.
Why don't say?
I wanted to go through the
Why don't
Rashash.
say also is like Yank Tepuchim Legamre?
What?
Why don't call like Yank Tepuchim? We're not the store Nisa.
Yayin Tapuchim?
Like Yain Tepuchim, Yan Limonim. Why you have to say Yan because Yan Masech?
Because the Gemara says so. The Gemara says, Im Shum Nisuch Lemenasche. The Gemara gave a reason of Loi Nisuch, and not the reason of Loi Kamen.
That's going to say both.
You have to say both, that's important.
Yeah, Yayin Mevushal, in
Yes.
your house, and you have a Misharetes, and it doesn't have a seal because you opened it. So why shouldn't that us with it? Maybe Shomachli.
I had this problem with my son-in-laws. I have a goy in my house for many years. That works in my house for many years. Humilius, like a Roman, Humilius. Humilius. Whatever. It's a nice guy. Reliable. So the problem is, people open bottles of wine and they put the cork back and they put it on the refrigerator's door. So they told me to go, every time when I have wine and it's closed with it, you can see that everything is clean, except in the middle you see one bottle of wine sitting. He doesn't touch it, he knows not to touch. And he knows he's afraid. A couple of times he did wrong things. One time he cooked, after Shkia, he started putting whatever, chulent or whatever. I threw the whole chulent out. He was crying, shaming, you know. And I did some dramatic things to teach him for years. Because every time he has to, Rabbi Schultz's wife, a big chibitzer, I want to mention here, to thank her. Nishmas Rabbi Schultz. Rabbi Schultz's wife, for the last 20 years, every morning she comes and she opens the fire for my house. She's going to cook. And every day, I used to make a list, and she make a V and X, and she signed. She was a big Bal Chesed, she always came. She mevatel meat, I would have to go down, and I used to work in Oak City, go down and open the fire. Now, she used to do it and open it. That should be a schus for Shleiman, schus for her sons. Anyhow, so I had a big shiloh with my son-in-law says, your wine is no good, because he opened the door. No good. So I told them that no problem. I showed them the Shulchan Aruch inside that when it's closed, it's not a problem. And when he moves the The door is not a Yisrael, doesn't it? He was relaxed. I wanted to make a leo on me. So I'm not religious. I'm not religious. You know, they're the front or I'm not religious. You know that. Rabbi Yisrael, the Rabbi used to say, right? You know, all those from guys are not religious. Show the Shulchan. Okay. From is here Shaman. Dikduk aloha, really could bring you Shaman, but not necessarily. It could be Dikduk aloha, because you want to show off that you're more religious than the other. And from kite, what happens when you have spare time? Where's your head? Speak about money, speak about politics, you speak about Torah, that's in Shaman. That's how I want to judge you. Where Hechsher, this says, not Hechsher. To me, I always had a big problem. I used to come from my father's house. That was the theory of my father, bless his memory. I used to come to Slabotka, all different theory, and everything is badats, and they mice, they chazushki, they mice everything before they eat. They worry maybe the badats and do it right, and have piano, and that's all religion there. And I was to laugh at them. I said, well, that's religion. Where's your papers of the sugiya and paying? What do you speak at the table at the time we eat? Torah or politics? Rosh, that's your Shammai. That's not your Shammai. That's not what it's all about. And it was a big gap, but I realized that it was a big gap, different world. And years later, I understood that they are right. Years later, that the religious Haredi people are right. Because when you are born religious, so you need to have certain things that will cause you to become religious. What makes you religious? So now, if you're Ben Aliyah, you can learn Torah day and night. You got warmed up on Torah and night, so you can do it. But most kids, you take out of 10 kids, right, Rabbi Bell, how many kids can really put their heart and soul in Torah learn day and night? Everybody could, potential. But I don't think the mice do that. Very few, right? So according to the system, anyone who's not Avodah Zarah is out of the box. Where is he? Where am I? Where am I? So the Chazon Ish came and says, halachah, hechsher, this, that, and also protects them. And I think to halachah. So if you're medakos, you're afraid of Hashem, that's really Hashemayim. But if you're not, at least you have your tzul of religious and you stay in religion. It's a big thing. It makes people to stay religious. When you get old, you understand that there's a lot of chokhmah in it. True is not the true. That's how you have to teach your children that's kind of fake and not real, but it's also real. Because it's needed and it's good. And everything is good. Yeah. So it's every generation because everything else more homework. But let's go back to us. So we started with what were we dealing with? I tried to just off.
You finished now the Rosh.
So I want to do the Rashi. It's already 1:30. Question is, what we'll do is, we save the Rashash and Rashi for next week. We'll do that. And also I'll send all the papers of Achronim Bli Neder, and I'll try to send it to you guys, of Bishul. What is Bishul, guys? So you guys should say
Bishul.
Bishul. What is the definition of Bishul, cooking?
Where?
One is I gave it a Besoisef. Yes, it's inside. Besoisef. And I'll bring all that Cholim, pasteurizing. There's a lot of Cholim explain what is pasteurizing. Avos and others, they go a whole page, what is considered pasteurizing, what is Bishul, in the details. I saw a long time ago when I learned about his own other group. But remember, I'll print it out and give it all out to people. It's important to know this once in your life, very well, and have the Torah knowledge in your heart and your head to know what it's all about. What's Mevushal, what level of Mevushal, according to all Shitas, etc. Okay. And also I want to, you see Gimel, this page, I want people to see the Rambam, the Lechem Mishnah. It's very important, Rambam, that you're not to drink any alcohol drinks together with Goyim. In the stores, and there's a what? Gimel in the pages. Do that as well. Those are two major subjects you must conquer and understand. Today in the morning I spoke about it and I brought a lot of doubts into it. What about if I drink in a restaurant? Since I'm old, if you take the alcohol to your house. What about in outside of the store? You can't. What about in a restaurant? That's called a store. Outside the store, now your house. What about you bought it?
You got a bar.
Bar, but you bought the beer. Can you drink it or not?
Only beer. They only have beer. No.
We have to clarify halacha l'maaseh. Halacha l'maaseh. It's not so simple. This Rambam. What is l'maaseh? Number two, we have to find out if this Rambam is being brought to halacha. Shchono. Bichlal. Okay.
The one we read.
Bezrat Hashem.
We have